Happy New Year, everybody. We made it through 2023. I think that in itself deserves a pat on the back. Bringing in the new year, we have the excellent news that Mickey Mouse has entered the public domain. It may surprise you to know that this was actually supposed to happen 40 years ago. If you're familiar with the cartoon Steamboat Willie, you may know what I'm talking about. Steamboat Willie was created and released in 1923. This was Disney's earliest version of Mickey Mouse, and it's the origins of what we know as Mickey Mouse today, which you may be shocked to hear because, as far as I know, there's not a single other Disney animation or character that they created that has been moved to the public domain. This is the first one. And the history on that is very interesting. Because Steamboat Willie was released in 1923, normal copyright law would demand that it was put in the public domain in 1984. When 1984 rolled around, at the time, Disney did not want this version of Mickey Mouse going public. So they went to Congress, and Congress granted them an extra 20 years for this copyright license, which would mean that they would have until 2004 before anyone could start profiting or using this version of Mickey. But then, once again, 2004 rolled around, and they start lobbying again. They went to Congress, and Congress granted them another 20-year extension, which brings us to today, January 1st, 2024. As of midnight today, Mickey Mouse has entered the public domain. So now that 2023 is behind us, why did Disney not fight once again to keep this version of Mickey Mouse under their clutch? And that's a question that a lot of people are asking right now. And there's no perfect answer, but I think one of the best answers is that they are a much bigger company now than what they used to be. I found this great video done by Corridor 3 weeks ago by one of their guys on their legal team, and he went over how in the past 40 years, Disney has acquired 22 different companies, as opposed to the years before those 40 years, they'd acquired 4. So since then, Disney has grown exponentially. So this one version of Mickey Mouse probably does not mean as much to them as it used to. If we look at some of Disney's earliest films, they're built off of the back of public domain. Don't believe me? Let's check it out. Snow White, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella were all in the public domain when they took the story and then they made it their own adaptation. You may be familiar with the fact that Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain in 2022. This resulted from the movie Blood and Honey, which is like a horror slasher film that they took from the original Winnie the Pooh and made it their own. Interestingly enough, this morning a video game trailer released called Infestation 88, and this old version of Mickey Mouse is in it as some kind of monster, which just goes to show you that as more and more things continue to get put into the public domain, I think the first thing that's going to be done is these characters will all be put into horror films, as we've seen for the last 2 big names that have entered recently. So now Steamboat Willie is free for you to use as you please, but don't mistake this as the whole brand of Mickey Mouse is open now. This one version of him is open.